Okay, a few months ago, my family and I went to Kuala Lumpur for my dad's marathon. Of course, I'm not gonna run a 42-kilometer run, right? So me, my mom, and my little bro, we're gonna go on the most exciting holiday of our lives. No, it was in fact not fun. We were essentially chained to the meh hotel room for the whole trip because we had nothing to do. But hey, at least the Wi-Fi was decent, right? Fast forward to mid-December 2025. My dad is the type to make jokes and make them true right after. So he said to me, "Mo gi Singapore si?" And I replied like, "Lawak na pa ato mahal gila ba?" To us Malaysians, Singapore is a hella expensive country, like a T20 level destination. There was no way he would ever make that true. He did. Late December, now we're all suddenly on an Air Asia economy flight to Singapore. Wow. Thank you, Dad. Can we get an applause for that here? Yeah. Okay, anyways, the flight itself was it was unremarkable, but I do recall seeing a lot of ships from our window. Once we got off that plane, we were greeted with a literal giant of a security checkpoint right out the gate, which is a first timer. The process was quick, though honestly, the female guard which processed my family and I was really nice and conversational. So yeah, which was definitely not me trying to strike a convo with her, but let's just ignore that, guys. After the immigration stuff and whatnot, we made it out and took a grab car along the southeast coast of Singapore from Changi Airport Terminal 4 to our hotel in between Bugis and Kampong Glam. The room was quite decent, but the one thing that surprised me the most was you could drink the tap water without boiling it. What? Back in Malaysia, we didn't even dare to drink boiled tap water, let alone untreated, right? We always had to buy big water bottles from a 7-Eleven nearby, which always cost us money. But now we get to have water for free. How wonderful is that? Knowing me, you know I had to take a few sips of that water. It tastes like money. Anyways, by that time, we were starving, right? So we walked around that Kampong Glam area and eventually settled to buy food from an Indian Muslim shop around the corner where we bought one chicken biryani and one murtabak. Let me get this straight. For Singapore value, overall value, that shit was huge, bro. One biryani and murtabak could feed my parents and I for the whole afternoon. And that is a hard feat to achieve because I have a giant stomach. So yeah. Anyways, back to the story. Few hours passed, we then went to some nearby malls by foot where I found the love of my life. This was actually one of the main inspirations for my current channel brand itself. Sukiya Gyudon. Alhamdulillah, praise be to God for bestowing His grace unto me by sending me to this place. The rice bowls there were magnificent, exquisite, delectable, scrumptious, not to mention cheap. One medium rice bowl with beef, with sauce included, was 4 Singapore dollars. For Singapore, that's ridiculously cheap. Again, $4. I cannot possibly express my sense of longing for this place once I went back home in a single video. So, let's leave it at that. Then, we went to a mall near Marina Bay Sands and Gardens by the Bay. Honestly, by this point of the day, I was completely exhausted of walking. So, I didn't really enjoy these parts that much. The shops near MBS was a very fancy place to say the least. You know how most places have their AC on the ceiling, right? This place had AC on the floor. The floor! That's ridiculous. But other than that, the place was mid. There was this light show and all that, but it was kind of boring. Gardens by the Bay. I'm so sorry if I offended any Singaporeans with this statement, but it was kind of a waste of my time. I know my family might have enjoyed exploring this, but to me, especially as a guy who doesn't really like nature places that much, It was just a maze of artificial tall trees. As we tried to get out of that place via grab car, it wasn't hot in a way, but I was sweating like crazy. That place was so humid because crowds and crowds of tourists packed the pickup area, and somehow a drive that was supposed to last only 15 minutes cost more than a drive going to the airport. Now that is crazy. That's it for day one. Next video, I'll be talking about my second day in Singapore, which had me go to the Singapore Zoo. Bye bye.